So in this video, we are going to discuss about functions in Kotlin. You can already see we have a function over here. This is our main function. Anything we write inside this will be executed. You already know this. This is very simple. From first day itself we are discussing about it. Now we will make our own functions. We can make our own functions as well. Now let us just make a simple function. As you can see, fun keyword is used to make function. In different languages we use different keywords. For example, in Python we use def, okay, but in Kotlin we use fun keyword. So this is just a syntax. So now I will make a function which just print hello world. Okay. So say, don't worry, I will explain this. Just a minute. Okay. So I will just correct this. Okay. You can see I have declared a function over here. Okay. So you can compare this and this. Both have a bracket. Yes, both have a bracket. Okay. So both have a fun keyword. Yes, both have a fun keyword. But main, you can see instead of main I have written something else. Okay, so what is this? This is the function name. I have given a default name for my function. You can give any name to your function. Okay, so this is say hello. Mainly if you want to give a name, it is better approach to give a name what the code is exactly doing. For example, my code is saying hello guys. Okay, so my function name is hello, say hello. It is better approach to make it readable, just to make it readable, nothing else. Now I will call this function over here. Just I will call this function. Now I have called this function over here in main. So what will happen? Hello guys has been executed. Why it is so? This function is written here. Now I will call this function over here. So this code will be executed. Okay, so uh, function are basically code that has been executed only when needed. Okay, consider you want to print hello world 1,000 times. Now I can just copy the function again and again. See here, you can see I have called this function multiple times. 1 2 3 4. Okay, and just run the code. So you can see the hello world is printed multiple times. Okay, so what is happening is the function has some code that will be executed when you call the function name along with this bracket. So this is all about function with no parameters and no return types. You will understand what are return types and parameters later on. Now let us discuss about function with parameters. This is very important. Now let me just create another function. Okay, now let me just name it name. Okay, let me just name it name. That's all. Okay, now here I want to pass some data. Okay, it will take input as name. Okay, so I will give it as my name. So my name is of string type because if you want to store a multiple character data, you will store it in string format. This is very basic. We have already learned in, I think, data types video. Okay, so let me just open the parenthesis and let me just write the code. I will just print the name. Very simple. Let me just print my name. You will understand this. Wait a moment. I will teach you properly. Let me just write this name. I will pass the name. Okay, I will pass a name. Okay, now let me just run this code. Okay, now I will tell you what is happening. Okay, so I have created a function. Okay, which takes the input, so it takes name is stored in string format. Okay, name is stored in string format. Okay, So we were calling the function over here. Now we can pass some data as well. Okay, now we can pass some data as well, only of type string. Okay, if I pass integer, the code will give an error, but we can pass string. Now what this name function is doing is, it is taking this name, that is my name, and just printing it, okay. So when I call this function name, so I call this function name in my main function and just pass a value Akshay. What is happening? It is just printing. Very simple code. Now let me just remove this and give it blank. What will happen? No value passed for parameter my name. It is saying you declared a parameter and it cannot be empty. Okay, so please give me some value so I can just execute my further code. Okay, so very simple. Now I will just give it something and it will execute. Let me just summarize. This type of function is called function with parameters. Parameters are these are called as parameters. Okay, parameters are nothing but some input types. Okay, so these are my parameters. My name is a parameter. You can have multiple parameter as well. For example, my name comma your name. This will be string as well. Okay, this is not your name from that enemy. I'm just writing something else. Okay, now let me just remove this and write your name in the sense the parameter name. This is just like some variable. Okay, just this is just like some variable, not exactly variable, but still. Now we can pass two names, that is two arguments. uh, these are called parameters and the thing we pass are called as arguments. Okay, I will just pass something. Okay, now you can see this and this two things have been printed. Okay, so I made a function which takes two parameters, my name and your name, from the user. Okay, so from here it is taking two names, one and two, and it is just printing this. So where I have called this function, I called it here. So this is all about function with parameters. So these are called as parameters. So now I have written a code which takes parameters. Okay, so this is a different function. It just adds some number. Okay, it takes two parameters, two numbers, a and b, and just prints the sum of these two numbers. For example, I have passed 10 and 20. It just prints the sum of this. Okay, so this is 30. This is an example for parameterized function. Okay, parameterized function. Now I will make a magic. Okay, just wait for a moment. Okay, now let me just run the code. Okay, you can see 30 is printed. What I have done. So this is called function with parameters with return types. Okay, this is called function with parameters with return types. Okay, what are these return types? Now consider you want to pass something from the function. So I have taken two numbers from the user, 10 and 20. So A and B. Now two numbers have been passed in this function. Now what I am doing is I am returning a plus b. I am returning a plus b, the value of a plus b. For example, add has two numbers 10 and 20. So 10 and 20. 10 plus 20 can be considered as 30. So this function will return the value 30. Now what I am doing is I am making a variable a and it is saving the value 30 and I am just printing the value a. Did not understand? I will teach you again, okay? So I have declared a variable which basically stores add 10 and 20. So 10 and 20 is passed in this function, okay? So 10 and 20 is passed in this function. You can see over here. This is normal para parameter. This is normal parameter. Now what my function is doing is it is returning the sum of these values a and b. So what is 10 and 20? So it is returning the sum 10 plus 20, that is 30. So it is returning the sum 10 plus 20, that is 30. Now this 30 cannot directly be accessed because if I only keep this as it is no use. So I am storing it in a variable named a and just printing the value for a. So this will just return the value and we just printed this value. So what is this? This is called as return type. Return type in the sense these both are integer values. Now I want to return an integer value. Some sum of integer will be integer as well. For example, 10 plus 20 is 30. So 30 is integer as well. So I am returning 30. So this is all about function with return types. So very simple. I am just returning a integer value. This is an acknowledgement saying that I am returning an integer value. Please look forward. Okay. So this returns 10 plus 20 and I have just stored this in a variable called a and I have just printed the value for a. Okay. Let me just summarize again. This is little tricky. I have made a function which takes two parameters a and b and our function will return a value integer. So this function is returning the value of a plus b, the sum of two numbers we have taken from parameters. Now to access the parameter in our main function, we have declared a variable a. So this add function will return a plus b, that is sum of two numbers 10 and 20, that will be 30. This 30 will be stored in the variable a because it is a variable val, so it will be stored in val. Okay, so the output is 30. The 30 is stored here and we have just printed the output. So very simple. So this was all about functions. So this is some important topic. If you don't understand now, you will understand later, but still you should have a general idea. Even if you understand these basic examples, it is more than enough for later on course. Now just subscribe the channel for supporting me to make more content. Okay, so this is all about our functions. So if you understand this, do like the video. So it was very easy. Don't forget to add this acknowledgement, the return type. You should specify the return type. For example, if you are returning a string, you should specify a string as well. Okay, let me just take a simple example. I will just return a string. Okay, I will just remove this parameter. I will just specify the type as string. Okay, now I will call this function in I need to store this value. Okay, first I need to store this value. Okay, now let me just print a. Okay, now let me just print this code. Okay, you can see hello has been printed. So the return type over here is string, so I have specified string. So this is how we declare the functions. Okay, so this is a string return type. Last example was about integer return type. Okay, so I have stored this return type, that is hello, in my variable a. So this is the general flow of this code. So this is all about functions. So see you in the next video.